Hello everyone, it's Questquenchers here today, and I just want to talk a little bit about Bethesda and what they need to do to get back to the glory days, basically, of like Skyrim, of Fallout 3, of New Vegas, of Oblivion kind of thing. They need to basically introduce the idea of you can't go 10, I think it's like 15 to 30 seconds without coming across something interesting. Now, I believe that CD Projekt Red coined this term. That basically you just have interesting POIs, but that aren't like, something stupid like just a random, nothingness, basically. It has to be interconnected with something or provide a valuable sort of loot option, perhaps a schematic for something. I mean, that's in Witcher kind of thing, but like it needs to have something important to the player to be like, hey, I should really search more of these POIs to get this thing, like legendary items. I remember when they were legendary that they had a unique sort of look and a unique property to him, but nowadays it is just boring loot with a weapon skin that just has some random legendaries attached to it. And I'm not gonna lie, no one likes it. It's the first thing that kind of get modded away. Basically, you would have mods that would enable you to remove those legendaries, decent legendaries, from really crap guns you discover and put it on the weapon that you actually want, so it makes it kind of like redundant in a way. Whereas if the legendary item was a cool looking, skin of a unique weapon, like that looks different and it's its own thing, then people would be like, oh, you can go here to find this. And it would be the same for everyone, creating guides and stuff, whereas Starfield is like randomly generated POIs with nothing very interesting at all. So they need to take that from CD Projekt Red to add unique, like little locations and stuff not far from other locations so players can easily bump into them. As well as sort of like, well, they already have like question mark icons and stuff like that, so that's pretty good. But they certainly need to get away from this randomly generated weapons and armor and stuff. It is just dull as dishwater, and I think like they just need to stop it, and make like getting loot a special kind of thing, because it's not anymore. It's just like, oh yeah, found this. That's boring. As well as like enemies, they've made it so enemies don't drop complete like spacesuits, bodysuits, everything, clothing, and all that. It's now just like, oh, you get little bits. I'm like, no, I want to be able to entirely strip this person down to their pants and rob them blind. Uh, so it just doesn't seem to be there at all anymore. And it's like, where has the exploration gone? Where's the discovery? Where's the customization gone? Where's the, oh wow, I found this. It's all gone more or less. Like in Starfield, there is a little bit here and there in Shattered Space specifically, but then there's like options to not get that certain stuff, which is a bit like okay, because I discovered like something like a fang, some sort of ancestry kind of thing. Discovered that, and I gave the spacesuit to another NPC that wanted me to keepsake or something. I thought you end up with a spacesuit, but you don't. I thought you could fix them up and stuff, but this woman just like, oh, I can make a real difference, and then proceeds to just sit there in a house not making a difference, which is really weird. So yeah, again, it's just not very good writing, and I think that's what Bethesda struggles with now. Now, I did come across some really, really interesting dungeons. I was like going through it and I was like, this is really cool. I really like this. Especially when finding that armor for, the antique things of of that lady in that quest. I can't remember what it was called. Maybe Lost and Found or some sort of tomb of someone. But yeah, I really like that quest design, and that's what you need to do. So basically, it seemed like either the person who was making it had a good idea for a quest within their mind, and they made it so the place had a quest, and it was just like, yes, that it actually worked, not just a random empty place, which most of them kind of are, just with like some scattered enemies. There needs to be importance to it. But you know, there also needs to be like some of the quests need to be just completely wiped away and changed completely to actually garner some interest and make the player that at the time, because I feel like I've wasted a lot of time in Shattered Space doing the scientific method was a terrible one, and there's a few other ones like figure out who's robbing this groat farm, and there wasn't really anything to it, and it was quite boring. So it was just like, yeah, they definitely need like when making these spaces and stuff some sort of intrigue about it, because they just don't, annoyingly, and that's what they can do it. I know they can do it because I remember playing Skyrim and going through those caves. I was always discovering everything. I'm going back and playing it currently now, and I'm like, this is incredible. What the hell happened? They really need to get some, level designers. They need to either hire more level designers to create some really cool dungeons, because there is some cool dungeons in Shattered Space, but I can only recall 2 now, and that's it. There's not really much there. Oh, maybe 3 actually. I think there's 3 unique dungeons that I thought were really cool. They need to get back to that. That's what people want. They like dungeon diving, like going into places, finding some really cool, uniques items, whether it's just like a completely unique spacesuit like the Mantis or anything, and stuff like that. And it's just like, you need to get back to it because it's so far and in between these kind of things. It's like you don't find anything new. And it's like, oh, well, if you keep giving the player too many uniques, they get bored. But it's like, no, they'd give them to their companions to make them look really cool and stuff. And they keep discovering more, and they'd be like, oh, this is better than my stuff. We're going to wear this complete armor and stuff and feel really legendary, And even you can even add like dialogue to be like, if the player is wearing this certain armor, an NPC will say this, like they've done before. Like with power armor and stuff in Fallout 4. Or when, a random god goes, wow, that's a cool spacesuit, kind of thing. So it's just like, there's so much they can still do, and there's so much they can, give. But for some reason, I do think because they bundled the expansion with the day one sort of like, I mean, not day one, like the pre-order kind of thing, I do feel like they didn't go all out in the writing department, and they certainly didn't, because I made a 20-minute video being like, look, they could have done this, that, and the other. I just don't feel like they're creative enough to do anything that intriguing. And that's just the main quest. Apparently Bethesda, they're always like, oh, the main quest is crap. But they need to get out of that, really. They need to really get some writers to make the main quest really intriguing, really fascinating, because it is, for some reason, it is just so obvious to me that there should have been interactions with the Great Serpent during this main quest, yet there wasn't. And there isn't one, like, no, not even a hint of it. Maybe there was like a mention of it in like logs and stuff that I maybe missed, but I don't think I missed anything like that. Yeah, they're interested in experiments and stuff, but still, it's just like, it's Varun Kai, the homeworld of the Varun people. Why is there no commune with the Great Serpent or anything like that? And that's quite frustrating for me. I'm like, there's just nothing. There's no, like, you got all these heralds and stuff, but no actual proof, which is very irritating. So yeah, that's basically my, what I think they need to do. They just need to get back to dungeon delving, not like unique dungeons, unique armors, and all that stuff. And it needs to be like, going these places for a reason. If you're just exploring, yeah, you can discover it, and you can discover the entire dungeon. Not just like, oh, we cut it off, so when a quest comes around, no, the entire dungeon, go into it. And, or if not, like, you can't enter into this place in its entirety until you've discovered the quest. And maybe when you do that, you make it some way, like, use in Starfield, there's got to be some communications or some alarms and stuff. And perhaps if there's this quest, it's cornered off by, you have like basically like not a marker, it's like a trigger in like the creation kit. And if it triggers this, then you get a radio, message sent to you. Hey, I see that you want to do this. Come to me first, and then we'll both go to it. Or something like that. Just, if you really want to make a quest within it, or have a trigger be like, oh, I should really see if there's anyone that wants to talk to me in Dazaret about this place, kind of thing. Or like they did with the tomb thing, you go into it and you discover a little bit more, and then you go to another place. But yeah, it really needs. They need to really think about what they want to do and not just make a place now. It feels like they're just making places and then adding stuff. They need to think about the entirety of the thing before they make it, or it's just going to fall flat on its face. As well as what to put into it, what uniques, how can people get around it, can there's sneaking options, is this all this stuff, and it's very complex and stuff, and I suppose that's why apparently they only made 3 dungeons in an entire year that I can remember from this place. And that's sort of like, out and about, not including the main city and stuff. But it's just like, they really should have done more for, apparently it's like £30 or something. Not too sure what it is in a UK currency. I think it's like 25 quid. Yeah, 25.99, 26. But yeah, it's not good at all. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't that great. I felt the writing was lacking. I felt the story was lacking. Felt like just running around the place now, and I'm like, yeah, I've done everything. I'm pretty bored of it. I'm gonna stop playing Starfield now, which is a shame. But yeah, that's all from me. Basically, I want to, just say what I think Bethesda need to do, and I've just repeated it about 50 times, and I'm going up on still how bad, Starfield is, and the DLC. It's just immensely lacking, and it's really annoying. There's so much potential, and I want to get into modding and stuff, but I don't want to mod this game because there's just I don't feel like there's that audience for people that kind of thing, or my time won't be well spent because my mod won't go anywhere, kind of thing. That's when I thought, oh, maybe I should just make it for me, but I don't really play Starfield. I'm playing Skyrim now with an immensely modded sort of experience, and it's so much fun. Like Skyrim is a great sort of community to mod and stuff like that. It's fantastic. They keep on going. They keep on making so amazing things, and I just can't stop playing it. Like currently, I'm running around in Bruma from that mod and stuff, and it's just fantastic. I'm in love with it that people had this passion to make something so unique, and you can really feel that passion when you're playing it. Anyway, yeah, and that's what Starfield lacks, passion. Right, that's all from me. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.